Today on our show,
We got jobs!
What?
That's right, man. Me and Marc are working on TV shows. We're going to tell you all about it today on Fat Man on Batman. Welcome to Fat Man on Batman. I'm Kevin Smith.
And I'm Marc Bernardin.
Hey, this is something we do for fun more than profit.
Shits and giggles.
Yeah, this is a good time, man. Talking about the shit we love and stuff like that. But in our day jobs, we like to create this kind of shit. Like, you can't be a fan of this kind of shit without wanting to do some of it yourself. And every once in a while, somebody recognizes true talent when they see it. And we went and got ourselves jobs.
Jobby jobs.
Let's talk about, Marc's got exciting news and has had it for a while, but he had to sit on it, so I've known for a bit. Tell him what it's called.
Well, I left the LA Times. I think we might have even hinted at that.
That you were
ago.
leaving, yeah.
I was leaving the LA Times, but I couldn't say where I was going.
Where'd you land up?
Sounds
like you landed in a little town called?
Castle Rock, Maine. My
A show that we would have spoken about on this show.
At some point, we would have been like, there's a fucking show set in the Stephen King universe called Castle Rock? What?
Isn't that madness? Like, the idea is that, tell them what the fucking idea is.
I mean,
I was about to mansplain your own show. Kev, explain it. Here,
explain it to the people.
Tell them what happens.
The idea, at least, is put forth in the
Give
trailer.
a single.
In the trailer that dropped about a month ago, I want to say. I think so.
It was right before I went to do Supergirl.
Yeah. The show Castle Rock is set in the fictional town that Stephen King created that is the sort of nexus and homing beacon for all of the horrible things that happen in the Stephen King world.
Give me a single.
Give him a single.
What the fuck? Whose cock do I gotta suck to see this? Whose cock do I have to shine
You have
to see this? Thank you very much, Two Shot.
I think he's got me shining.
That's right.
You have to suck J.J. Abrams' cock.
JJ, this is a JJ project?
This is a Bad Robot joint. JJ is executive producing it. This is a joint.
With?
Stephen King is sort of overseeing all of it in a way.
So it's a King thing?
It's a King thing, and then the two guys who are running the show on the ground are Sam Shaw and Dustin Thomason, who had done Manhattan for WGN.
Oh, that TV show about the people that make the bomb.
Indeed, people who make the bomb.
Let me tell you something. When he first said what this thing was, I was like, what a great idea. This is Avengers-izing or View-Skuniversing, as we say in my house.
As we say first.
Your fucking Stephen King universe. That means that fucking Danny from The Shining could run into Pennywise the clown.
Theoretically. I mean, there are certain books that we have the certain rights to and we don't. But
Danny's first car could be Christine.
What?
And he hits a dog named Cujo. And
he's got a cat's eye on his Lucky Charm.
Oh my God. I love it.
But yeah, so the room opened up, the writer's room opened up about 4 weeks ago. So
how many people? Tell them how many people in the writer's room.
Yeah, there's about 9 of us, 10 of us. Like some.
How many episodes?
10 episodes straight to series on Hulu.
9 people to make 10 episodes
of television.
You guys are going to be very covered.
There's going to
be. So you'll get your own script, you think?
I'm hoping so.
Or you'll at least co with somebody.
I think I'll co with somebody. I mean, the assignments have not been handed out yet, but we've been deep in the breaking of story.
Hey, big spender. Spend a little time in the writer's room. How long you been going to be there?
Through July. Middle of July, I think, just before Comic-Con.
Fuck? Really? Yeah. And then what? And then it's all, presumably then they go into production.
Right. Like the plan is we're going to write all 10, and then they're going to go off and shoot all 10, and I don't know where that's going to happen yet. But yeah.
For those that don't follow very closely the production of television and other media, when you do like a show like, say, Supergirl, which I just directed again recently, and it airs this week. That show, they shoot 23 of those episodes per year. They're writing them like a week before they're shooting them, maybe 2 weeks before they're shooting them. So they're writing them. They're always playing catch up. What they're going to do on Marc's show sounds like what they call block shoot.
Indeed.
You're going to shoot the whole fucking thing like a motion picture. This makes sense. When you have a fucking limited series, 8 to 10 episodes, or as they do with the Netflix Marvel series and whatnot, You board the whole fucker and shoot it at once.
Yeah, like so that way you can write everything at once. You can, that thing with you always do in TV, we're like, man, I wish we'd have established that thing back in episode 2 that'll pay off in episode 12. We can do that now.
Without playing catch up.
Right, without having to go back into
Because before
editing,
a single frame is shot, every script will have been written.
Right,
That's
the plan.
not the case with most television. Certainly
Almost
not
never.
network television.
You're always like 2 days ahead of the production train barreling down the
Why?
tracks.
Why can't they just like stockpile episodes?
I mean, I think that some of it is just time. Like if it takes you 40 weeks to shoot 22 episodes of TV, you can like, and there's always like we're building in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks of writing time just to get ahead. If we got 6 scripts in the bank before we start shooting, there's always delays. There's always things that go awry. There's always a script that gets blown up by the network. There's always something that just doesn't gel the way you want it to, and that's when the production train starts to catch up. And that's when you're like, all right, we're in pre-production on an episode we don't have a script for, so we're pretty sure there's a factory, and
That
we need a bunch of
happens.
Canadians. And
I just directed the season. Listen to me name dropping. I just directed the season finale of The Goldbergs, and our prep week, there was no script to prep.
yeah.
Because they were working on like the previous episode and also this pilot they were shooting and stuff like that. So when we got to the opening of the shoot week, like on the Monday, we had a couple scenes to shoot, but still no full script. So that's how they're always trying to play catch up and stuff. But block shooting it like this, like the Netflix show, like Stranger Things, they didn't shoot like that.
Right.
They had all their scripts and they went off and shot everything. It allows you to plot better and stuff. It's also economically smart.
I heard this story about David Milch on the Deadwood writers' room, where he would write every scene the day they were shooting it, and they shot out of order. Like they built that town up in like Santa Clarita somewhere, so the writers' room was across the street from the town. So it was, where are we shooting today? We're shooting in the bar. Okay. We're going to need a bar scene in 104. So here's that scene. And he would just literally like write the scene they had to shoot on the stage that day that would be used 6 episodes later. He's writing out of sequence, so they're shooting out of sequence. And then he would put it all together in his brain.
Wow. That part's impressive.
That's fucking nuts.
The rest of it sounds like a fucking nightmare.
Yes. I mean, for everybody else involved. But
Yeah, but not him. He apparently had a vision.
yeah.
Good for him.
But yes, that is not the way most shows are done.
No.
Because that's nuts.
Castle Rock will be on Hulu.
Yes.
There's a trailer they could see online.
Yep, you can go on. I don't
But
know.
they haven't shot a frame of film. It's just a moody kind
Yes, it's one of those like, it's a tone trailer. Here's kind of what it's going to feel like if everything in the show were words and a map.
Good sell.
Yeah, right? What if the stars were words?
Well, that's awesome, dude. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. And you have some news too, I believe.
He had a cool job, and he fucking traded up for a cooler job.
You know, it's an upward trajectory as far as employment goes. I want to be independently wealthy. I'm not there yet.
His name is Elmer J. Fudd, millionaire. He wants a mansion and a yacht. I, too, have some television news.
Tell me, I've been twitching to hear about it.
Sadly, not any news about Buckaroo Banzai yet, although that's not completely dead. There's still
talk?
Yeah,
Still
they're
rumbles?
still trying to move the needle there and stuff like that. But in the meantime, I had met with these folks at BBC America about Buckaroo Banzai back in the day. It came down to BBC America and Amazon. Amazon got it. But the folks at BBC America called me over the office one day and be like, "Do you know Sam and Twitch?" I'm like, "Oh my God, from Spawn? Absolutely." They're like, "We have Sam and Twitch. Like, can you do anything with it? Or do you have a take on it?" And I'm like, well, I mean, I read the books when I was a kid, in the '90s and stuff. I know Todd's World a little bit, and Todd McFarlane, his name dropped.
Our boy Todd.
Todd McFarlane. I was like, is it connected to Spawn? They're like, no, it's standalone, but we deal directly with Todd, so it could include the rest. So I came up with a take, and they liked it. And before I knew it, bam, we were making a deal. So I just finished the first draft of the pilot, 52 pages. I have my notes call on Thursday with BBC, with the folks at BBC. I put up a tweet where I was like, I described it as, the tone of it feels like the song Swamp by Talking Heads. So if you know that song, that's kind of what it feels like. It's funny, dark. You know what it's like? It's kind of like if Red State and Tusk fucked and had a baby that was kind of like
Rusk.
Yeah, it's very rusky. It's rusky business. It is. I love it though. I'm kind of like into it. My wife was real excited because she was like, "Oh my God, you wrote a cop show," and I was like, "Well, yeah, but like."
There's monsters.
Yeah, it's more about, to me, it's a fucking This is a show about fucking hell, bitch. This is a hell show. That's what, when I read it, I go, oh, this is weird, but I go, oh, I bet you, like, this feels like Dogma, but reverse. Like, it's not about angels and shit. It's about demons, man. Show's so fucking metal. So I think it'd be dope, man. I think it'd be really
awesome,
cool if they're into it. Like the person that runs BBC America did some interview and was talking about like, we're developing this Sam and Twitch show with Kevin Smith, and generally they don't fucking talk about shit they're developing.
Right, they just drop it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't want to talk about something you're developing in case they're like, development means we haven't seen anything yet, and so I could have handed in something where they're like, what the fuck? But they seem like, again, it was their thing. Like. Right. They had the property, and they're like, can you do something with it? And they liked what I suggested, and then they brought me on. And it just seems like they're inclined, to move forward. I don't know for a fact, but I mean, it seems like it's better than me going in there going, oh, it's a show about a guy who turns a guy into a walrus. And they're like, well, Kevin's show is interesting, but it would be Kevin's show. This is our show, and really their show.
Right.
Like, so I feel like it could go.
Sweet.
And if it does, that'd be fucking amazing. Like, we would shoot up in up north
in the van,
the Pacific Northwest, in the van, man, where I've directed 2 episodes of Flash. There's my Flash directing dick, and 2 episodes of Supergirl. There's my Supergirl directing dick. So I've worked with the crews up there. I would go cherry pick those crews.
Shouldn't the Flash directing dick be like vibrating really fast?
It does.
And then the Supergirl just be like hovering.
That's why all the ladies love the Flash dick, because it vibrates and stuff. Only the really curious women go for the levitating. You know what? This fell apart. But
it did, but it was fun while it lasted.
It was pretty good. But my point is, like, I look at those CW gigs as like, oh, what great training for going to do this thing. So fingers crossed, man. Yeah. And it's cool. It's I don't know. It feels like, again, reverse Dogma. Just like as much as Dogma was about angels and Christian mythology and Catholicism, this is about the opposite of all that shit. It's so like, I don't know, like, most people are like, he's fucking immature and he dresses like a child and he's fucking a little fucking dick and then he's an asshole, fat jerk off. All the shit they say is absolutely fucking true. and they're absolutely true on the point where they're like, he's so immature and stuff. I learned a long time ago, at least this is my take on life. Like, it only goes in one direction. We get older and then we fucking die. And I've met a lot of old people and I grew up around them and I watched them fucking die. And, look, I understand we all gotta die, but we don't ever have to get old.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You have to age. Can't get around that. You don't have to get old, so to speak. And, this show fucking appeals to the 18-year-old in me where I'm like, are you fucking me? We're writing about the Bolshes in hell? Oh my God, this is fucking nuts. They're gonna do a show? Like, I'd watch that show. I was clicking around last night looking for something, and I realized, oh, you're looking for the show that you want to make.
That doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, but soon, hopefully.
Do they have a timetable?
The way they do their process, if you're in Canada, is BBC America is part of the AMC networks, which also works in my favor because I know the folks at AMC Networks. I've been in business with them for a few seasons.
You have a long-standing relationship.
We do. So in any event, BBC, I think it's July or August, they make their decisions on the next season of shows. So, between now and July, probably now and June, only a couple of months, we're in March, right? For the next 2 months, I'll do a couple drafts, write the Bible of the back 7 episodes because their first seasons are 8 episodes, I think, and then their second seasons are 10. So I'd come up with, here's what the back 7 looks like and tell the whole story of the first season and hand in that script and that Bible, and they make a decision based on that. Well, first BBC says, we want to move forward, and then they kick it upstairs. Then AMC Networks has to decide if they want to move forward. Nice thing is, if they decide to move forward, you're shooting it. It's not just like, let's shoot a pilot and see what happens. You shoot all 8, you go.
Right, yeah.
So that'd be cool. So the idea was last year when I was working on The Flash, they were wrapping up their season, and a lot of the crew were going to go work on Dirk Gently, which is a BBC America show that's shot up in Vancouver. So they got to cherry pick the crew and stuff. That's what, same thing. We'd go in kind of the same slot and same idea. I'd go like, ooh, can you want to come work on this show? Work on this show. So once they're done with their gigs on the CW, like I ain't trying to steal anybody away while they're working and shit. Those are good gigs. But when they're done, if they're like, oh, you know, like I can go on summer vacation or I can fucking hang out with Kev, make a few bucks and fucking shoot a cool show.
Work for 10 weeks, 12 weeks.
And make a little more scratch before they go back to work. Like, you know, fingers crossed. I should be so fucking, you know, lucky that that's my problem.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
it's the first of many steps on the way to production, possible production. But I gotta say, right now it feels pretty positive.
Sweet.
He's in flat out production. I'm on the way too. They're there, man.
But I mean, just knowing how long these things take, you know, talking to the guys who are like, yeah, no, we've been working on this for about a year before we opened a room. You know, like there's iterations and versions and pitches and documents and.
I'm not saying like, oh, give it up for these heroes, but like it takes a while. It takes a lot to keep your passion going for something. You know what I'm saying? Like think about the moment of inspiration, like, oh, I want to do this. And then like, let's say 6 months later, you know, it's still like, what are we doing? Yeah, I want to do this.
This is great. I love it.
But, you know, hope wanes the longer time goes on. But then to suddenly a year later have a writer's room open, hope springs eternal.
Yeah, no kidding. So
Good
yeah,
for you.
good things happening for both these guys.
Yeah, look at us. Look at it. Good guys, nice guys, finish.
Here we are, born to be kings. We are princes of the universe. Sorry.
Here we belong, fighting to survive in a world with the darkest powers. That shit sounds like Sam Twitch, son.
Could you get Brian May to do the score?
Oh my God, I'm gonna fucking use that song. One movie that was Highlander.
That was Highlander.
I guess that's pretty recognizable, Highlander. People be like, you stole the Highlander song. I was
Who
like,
gives a shit?
What's more metal than that, man? But like, what's more metal than Queen? I don't know. Fucking Jethro Tull, fucking King Diamond. Like I can list 1,000 things. In any event, I wish that's gonna be a problem of mine. Dude. Where I'm like, oh, I want to use the Queen song. We should be so lucky we get there.
Dear BBC, can we drop some loot to get that song, please?
Fingers crossed.
Also, Killer Queen.
There it is, folks. Fat Man and Batman. I'm Kevin Smith.
And I'm Marc Bernardin.
Tune in next episode. We'll talk about other people's shit. We won't fucking rub our good fortune in your face.
Yes.
We'll talk about other people's good fortune.
No slapping dicks in anybody's faces.
No, we're going to put our dicks away now. Go back to being pop culture commentators. The kind of taters you love to mash.
Common.
There it is. For Fat Man, I'm Kevin Smith.
Marc Bernardin.
See you next time. Same fat time, same fat channel, spotcast.com.
Or youtube.com/Kevin Smith.